Good morning. Welcome into Extra Innings. I'm Taylor Gattoni with the voices of the Lansing Lugnuts, Goldberg-Strassler and Adam Jaksa, on the last Extra Innings.
Yeah, how about this?
Tears. It's over.
It's over. Yeah. I don't see any tears. You don't seem too sad.
We'll cut some onions later.
Okay, sounds good. Well, let's talk about what happened over this past series. You're in West Michigan, 6-1-6, and Adam, you came all the way from Mr. 305's area.
I did. That was late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, but it ended with a Lugnuts win on the final day of the regular season.
I'm utterly appreciative. So the Lugnuts are playing our 131st and final game of the year. Adam is the voice of CMU football. So Central Michigan flies down to Miami. He calls the Central Michigan-Florida International game, and then he flies right back up for the Lugnuts final game, driving out to Grand Rapids. I mean, MVP performance.
That's a lot of dedication right there. And we won't talk about CMU because I know it wasn't the turnout that you wanted, but
it's going to get better.
It's going to get better, right? Improvement, progress, that's all you're looking for. Lansing Lugnuts, however, did end the season with a win.
Yeah, you brought the victory.
Yeah, well, they needed it. They had lost 5 in a row, which wasn't great, and they had lost 8 in a row going back to that series against Fort Wayne. But they had a close game on Saturday, which you saw. They fell 2-1. Same situation yesterday. They're down 2-1, and then the man from Canada had a big swing.
Yeah, TJ Schofield, Sam. So RBI single earlier in the game to tie the game up 1-1. And then a 3-run go-ahead home run in the 8th inning. Lugnuts won 4-2. He knocked in all 4 runs. Something that I loved seeing was, what kind of energy are players going to bring into the final game of the year? And that final game, that turned into what felt like a mid-season game where the players wanted it.
That was a great thing. They had lost their manager. He had been ejected the last couple of days. So Kevin Kuzminoff, the hitting coach, he had really instilled that this game was important. It's the last time to put yourself out there to try and finish off with a win, and they did. And you could tell they were battling like it wasn't just any other game. They wanted to finish strong.
Blaise Pontes pitching great. Diego Barrera, the 8th and the 9th inning. I believe Max Clark went hitless.
And they had a strong game overall to end the season. You talk about the 9th inning, and of course there are 9 innings in baseball. Let's talk about the 9 highlights from this past home series, or away series, I should say.
So I was looking for some of the top highlights throughout this year, some of our favorite memories, and this is what I came up with.
Yeah, 131 games. Although they don't make the playoffs, there were some spectacular moments, and how could you not start? I don't know what order we're going, but the no-hitter, Jesse, that was phenomenal.
4th no-hitter in Lugnuts franchise history. First no-hitter in Lansing since all the way back in 2001.
Okay.
It was a combined no-hitter. It was Jake Garland, it was Grant Judkins, it was Colton Johnson, who did it against a Cedar Rapids team that the previous day had collected 20 base hits. Here's Colton Johnson for the final out. Sit down. It's a no-no, and you can look at his smile. It's a special thing against a powerful Cedar Rapids team. I'm never going to forget that game.
No doubt about it. As you mentioned, early 2000s, the last time we saw a no-hitter at Jackson Field, then Oldsmobile Park. I mean, pretty darn cool. And the fact also that they had 30-plus hits the 2 days prior was remarkable that they didn't have any that next day.
That is impressive. I mean, you're seeing all of the players over there. They're so excited. They're hopping up and down. They're giving each other high fives. The energy seems electric over there.
Yeah, so this is one of those things that you go, over the course of a long baseball season, 131 games plus the Crosstown Showdown, what might you see on any day? And this was something that we had not seen in a very long time on Michigan Avenue. So that was a blast. That's one full game. What I'd like to show you next is Ryan Lasko on defense. So Ryan Lasko on offense, Ryan Lasko on defense. He had one of the longest home runs of the year. He also had perhaps the greatest defensive plays of the year. And this was a guy that did not join us until halfway through the year.
Yeah, that's what's great is we never know who's going to join us or who's going to come up with spectacular plays. This is one of his great catches against the Loons. One of our first chances to see Ryan Lasko out in center field. Look at him go up the padded wall and get that. That's the other thing. Jackson Field defensively in the outfield, it's difficult for players to get accustomed to the outfield. And he made himself right at home.
20 feet tall, that wall in center field. I asked him later, I said, okay, we got to see that catch. What do you think is the best defensive play you've ever made in your life? Because if you've made that catch, my guess is you've made tons of others. And I saw his Rutgers highlights. And he said, no, that's number one. This is the best play probably have ever made.
I was going to say, all season, we've heard Lasko. We've seen his catches in all those highlights. That is an impressive catch.
Just hanging in the air.
Look at those hops.
Right? Tyrone Lorenzo robbed. All right, so that's his defense. I would like to take you next to his power. So Ryan Lasko hit a ball that we have not seen a lot of people hit balls to this year.
Well, specifically, we hadn't seen it before this year because the batter's eye that is now out in center field was added to start this season. It was a requirement by minor league baseball. So this is the first ever home run that goes over the new batter's eye, straight away center field. And hello, outfield apartments. That was crushed.
Look at those cool uniforms, too.
With the lights going, too. I love this.
Yeah, atmosphere.
How do you think the batter's eye has changed how the Lugnuts have been playing this season?
So the first thing is you would hope that it would give everyone a better look at the baseball. This way you take away all distractions. All you've got to do is see that white baseball against the green backdrop of the batter's eye. But we're not expecting guys to drive home runs over it. When players first arrive at the ballpark, they say, well, no one's going to hit anything out to left center, right center, center field. Number one, the wall is too high. Number two, it's too deep out there. This is a 440-foot drive or thereabouts.
Remind me again how tall that batter's eye is?
So the wall goes up 20 feet tall, and then the batter's eye rises, what do you think, about 10 feet above that?
15, I think, is what it might be. So I think what it's changed is just helping us appreciate how hard a ball like that is hit, to think that it goes over a 20-foot wall and then a 10 to 15 wall on top of that.
That is a lot of power behind it.
Oh, it's great. So we're going through the menu of our favorite memories of this season. Your choice.
Oh, man, you say menu, I think olive burgers. Wow, I think back to the start of the season and one of the best batters we were excited to see from day one, Henry Bolte, this top prospect, awesome name, and a bolt of lightning really on the base paths, in the outfield, and then with his power, Jesse hit a home run out to right field, and that was cool, but then so was the fan that watch this catch here. Henry Bolte blasts this thing out to right field, and there's just a casual fan that decided to bring his mitt to the game, and he decided to catch the ball and then watch the salute here at the end like nothing happened. Great catch and a salute. Outfielder couldn't make the catch, but he's got his back.
Thank you for your service. You did great.
It's so good. It's so good.
He was so ready. Like, that was nothing, just casual. Like, he was prepared the whole time for it. He knew it was coming.
And that it came off the bat of Bolte, because as you mentioned, you can make the case that a couple of years down the road, we'll be looking at Henry as being the top position player who played for the Lugnuts in 2024.
Okay, well, let's talk about a lot of those Lugnuts who have had that success this year. 9 of them made their MLB debut.
Yeah, including your guy, Jacob Wilson.
Yeah, and we go back to when it started. This was fun. You and I did like a guess at the beginning of the season. Who was going to be the first former Lugnut to make their debut? It was Max Schumann, Eastern Michigan Eagle, local product. He was a player that we loved watching in Lansing. But, yeah, then you go to Jacob Wilson and so many others. It's cool to see that list continue to grow for the people that played here in Lansing now getting to the majors.
And not just A's, not just guys from the past couple of years or so, a Brett Harris, a Brady Basso. No, in fact, the Toronto Blue Jays, the guys who were with us in 2019, to see Leo Jimenez make his way up to the Jays, or Luis de los Santos. Jeff Criswell, the Michigan Wolverine, gets traded to the Rockies. He debuts for Colorado, picks up a Major League win. You saw Griffin Conine for the Marlins.
Griffin Conine and Otto Lopez back-to-back in the order down in Miami. It was pretty special. Otto Lopez and Griffin, 2019 Nuts, and Otto had 3 hits.
What happened for the first pitch of that game?
Griffin's dad, Mr. Marlin, Jeff Conine, threw out the first pitch to Griffin. So that was a spectacular moment.
I heard that was super cool, and that's a very thoughtful, special moment for, you know, the father and son to have that.
Yeah, so we've got our Lugnuts today. We've got our past Lugnuts doing well at the Major League level. There are a couple of other highlights from the Major League season. Danny Jansen, the 2015 Lugnut, became the first player in Major League history to play for both teams in the same game because of a weird rain suspension. And Mason Miller, who I think has established himself as a superstar this year. He was with the Lugnuts 2 years ago, top rookie closer for the A's, threw the fastest pitch in All-Star game history. Just a couple of the things that have happened this season.
Well, okay, you talk about a couple of those things happening this season, but we have a lot more highlights to get to. You talked about Wilson. I'm going to mush that name together. Will Simpson. Let's talk about him.
Will Simpson. So at the start of the year, we go, okay, Henry Bolte, we expect him to hit. This is the crosstown showdown. This is the first time we get to see the players in action, and Will goes yard not once, but twice, including a grand slam against the Spartans.
First impressions are everything, and this was our first chance to see Mr. Simpson, and he dazzled. Even after Henry Bolte got moved up, you knew that there was still power in the order because of Will Simpson. He was so just consistent all season long, and that's what these guys are trying to do, but it all began night one against Michigan State in a rout of many proportions.
18-0. You know where Will is right now? Will is up in AA with the Midland Rockhounds, where he's hitting near 500. He's been their best hitter after getting called up from the Lugnuts, and they're in the playoffs. So Will could be leading Midland to a Texas League championship.
That's incredible. Well, you're talking about him having a consistent season, and you want to see that progress. You want to see those skills continue and also improve. Well, that's incredible that he was able to do that, and he's a lead.
This has been a breakout year for him. This has been a year where he put his name on the map, and a lot of people are taking notice.
What are you hoping from him?
I mean, I hope he makes
Obviously
the major leagues sooner rather than later. He's a great dude. He was really fun to have on the team this year, and it was really fun to watch. The fact that when we watch these guys, you can tell what skills are real.
It's obvious. I mean, to watch him, to watch Henry Bolte and some others, they're going to be in the big leagues soon. And that's just a testament to how hard they've worked and the talent that we got to see and that they put on display at the high A level this year in Lansing.
Are there any other Lugnuts that you hope to see move up next season? I know we're still a while away.
All of them.
Obviously.
I want every single guy. Keep on rising. We want to keep on talking about our Major League Lugnuts. Yeah, so it's with the guys who we finished the year with. There are certain players that I would like to see back next year. I would love to see the shortstop, Josh Kuroda-Grauer, the Big Ten Player of the Year. I'd love to see him start next year with the Lugnuts. But there are some other guys that I would like to see moving up to AA. I mean, I look at Luis Morales, who represented the A's in the Futures game, the A's top pitching prospect. He fired the very last game of the year for the Lugnuts, started the game against West Michigan. I would like to see him continue his growth.
Absolutely. A guy like Ryan Lasko, certainly, he's spent a short stint in Lansing, like we mentioned, but he's another one that you would expect to move up. Kuroda-Grauer, I don't know if we're going to get him back next year, Jesse. He's made some tremendous strides just in the short time that he's been in Lansing, but the A's will make the decision. We'll see what the roster looks like in 2025.
Well, you love to watch them, but of course you want them to move up, so hey, congrats.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like a teacher. You want to keep on graduating your students and feeling proud with what they're contributing to the world.
Oh, I like that little connection you made there. Okay, that was good. Any other highlights you want to mention here?
If we have one more to show, I'd like to show 9 straight strikeouts. That is 3 Lugnuts pitchers zoomed right through one full starting lineup of the Great Lakes Loons. Every single Loon got to try it. Every single Loon struck out. This was 3 Lugnuts pitchers combining, and just count them up. We're going to begin with Jacob Waters on the mound. Couldn't touch that pitch. What do you think? Any chance? No chance. High cheese. So Jacob starts things off, the big power arm out of Rocky Gap, Virginia. The shame of it was that he ended the year on the injured list because he was making major strides this year. He looks like he has a major league relief arm. Now we bring in Garrett Irvin. Garrett, take care of this hitter right here. Jake Vogel, sorry about it. So Irvin finishes off the inning, and then Adam, we turn to one of the breakout stars of the year, Will Johnston.
Yeah, Will Johnston from Texas A&M, he really came on strong, and he's got that great off-speed stuff with the slider, with the splitter, and it's tough to figure out which of those pitches is coming at you. And the lefty looked good out there, and he just continued to grow as the season went on. So,
Taylor, what do you think of the green and gold uniforms?
Okay, I gotta say, I was born in California, so I was an Oakland's fan growing up. Little did you know.
Did you know this?
No, perfect fit.
What?
This is shock you on the last Extra Innings.
This is why you're
I was
hosting
an
this
A's
show.
fan.
So you look at these and you go, oh yeah, that's the look right
That's
there.
home, you know. Well, home's in Michigan now, you know, the 517 area, but back in the day.
Shout out South Bend.
Well, South Bend, yeah, shout out to South Bend too.
Shout out Chicago. No, that I think it's fun because we saw a number of the different uniforms. So it's the players on the field and it's the highlights. But there were all sorts of the different theme nights throughout the year. You mentioned us playing as the Olive Burgers one more time this year. We had a lot of fun on, off the field. The 10 millionth fan came through the gates at Jackson Field. There was a ton of good times there at the ballpark.
You're just reminiscing and all the highlights, all the great things that happened this past season.
Yeah, that's put together the photo album.
Yes. Hey, we have the highlights right here.
Let me show you one more. So the Lugnuts had 5 walk-offs this year, 2 for Johnny Butler. Here's the first, and that is gone. bottom of the 10th inning to beat the Dayton Dragons 10-9. What do you say to a 2-run walk-off dinger?
Hooray. That's what you say.
Yeah.
I was like, is there a certain terminology I should be looking for here?
Well, we're saying goodbye to the 2024 season. We could say goodbye to that home run. This was the kind of celebrations that we enjoyed. Adam, you joked about earlier this year when we were having to do with the tarp pulls and how wet the field would get by the end of the year. But, you know, sometimes the field gets wet for a different reason.
That's right. Shower from the Gatorade bath, the water bath, all of it.
Yeah.
But there were some really fun moments, and especially the walk-offs. We love seeing those at Jackson Field.
Tear off the uniform, put it in the laundry.
You know, I think they'll accept getting the Gatorade or the water poured on them time and time again.
Here's another one. So we showed you the first Ryan Lasko catch. Try this one on for size. Climbing the center field wall.
He's become best friends with the wall.
It's a complimentary relationship.
Yeah. Symbiosis, right? Is that what they call it? Yeah, symbiotic relationship.
They work very well together. The wall's there. Ryan's, do you mind if I get a step? The wall's like, here, let me help you up a little bit.
We love that. Any last highlights, or should we just rewatch that one real quick?
Let me show you TJ Schofield, Sam. So we saw Will Simpson the first day against Michigan State. This is the last day. This is yesterday. And that's a 3-run homer that Max Clark can't get to. That beats the Whitecaps, and the Lugnuts finish the season off right, topping the arch rival.
Boy, it was such a sad sight to see all those fans come out on the final day in West Michigan, only to see the Lugnuts get the win.
Yeah.
We hate to see it.
Finishing the season strong. Maybe, you know, some hiccups along the way, but hey, to end the season with a win, 4-2, Lugnuts fans will take it.
We'll take it too. This was fun. It was a fun ride. It was the 28th season of Lugnuts baseball. So from today, we have 205 days before the Lugnuts and the Michigan State Spartans on April 1st, 2025.
Someone counting?
That's all, 205.
Yeah.
You got it marked on your calendar,
That's
circled?
right. Countdown is on.
All right, April 1st, Crosstown Showdown with
Yes.
MSU.
No April Fools, it is happening.
Good joke, Adam. Okay. Okay, so Lugnuts fans, what can they look forward to at the Crosstown Showdown versus MSU?
A brand new field. We've got a ton of work that is going in at Jackson Field. So because of that, we've got things that we're going to hold on the field. For example, we're going to do a movie night. We've got Inside Out 2. We've got the Barbie movie coming up. We've got golf coming up at the ballpark. There's all sorts of things occurring. You stay tuned to the Lugnuts website, the Lugnuts social media. You check out what we've got going on this off-season as we tear up the field. We install the new surface.
Ooh, okay, looking forward to that. That'll be nice, coming back to.
I mean, we need it.
They definitely needed it. There was some tricky hops, some hard hit balls into that dirt, and the mound had gone through it enough. So, yeah, it'll be nice to have a new field.
Yeah.
A nice reward for the Lugnuts coming back into a new season, 2025.
Yeah, 29 seasons. I mean, pretty cool. You look back to 1996.
Well, we're excited to see them.
Yeah.
Anything else? Looking
We
forward to
thank
next
you.
season. Oh.
We thank you. We thank Crystal. We thank Jess. We thank the whole WILX crew. Like, we really appreciate everybody here. Extra Innings this year.
Yeah, for the community here in Lansing, I mean, people love the Lugnuts, and you guys continue to support us and promote the Lansing Lugnuts, which we love, and people continue to listen, we think, and come out to the ballpark and support the team, which the players love.
Oh, yeah. Well, we love having you guys all here. Of course, this is the second season that we've had with Extra Innings, and it's always just fun highlighting the Lansing Lugnuts. We want to bring all that traction to Jackson Field.
Yeah, well, we are appreciative. We went nuts. We're going to keep on going nuts.
Well, there's only one way to properly end this, okay? So until next season, 1, 2, 3, go
Go
Nuts!
Nuts!
Thanks for joining Extra Innings.